We are at Cinequest Film Festival. Cinequest Film Festival is a great platform for filmmakers and film lovers. They get together and celebrate the art of creativity. We are very fortunate to have actor, director, and filmmaker Nandita Das today. She has acted in 40 different movies in 10 different languages. She directed a movie, Manto, last year, and the movie was widely accredited all over the world. Her movie Manto is being screened on the opening night at Cinequest Film Festival. So without much ado, let's talk to Nandita Das. Welcome to Cinequest and Sitare TV.
Thank you so much.
And we also want to welcome you and congratulate you for receiving Maverick Spirit Award.
Thanks very much.
It's a prestigious award, and
yes.
How do you feel about that?
Well, to be honest, I have got awards before, and every time I get an award, it's a kind of a mixed feeling. Because at one level, you think that your real award when you do a film is from the audiences, whether people have really watched it, whether they've liked it, it has connected with them. At the same time, in the moment, of course, it feels nice, but I'm not someone who displays my awards, in my living room or in my bedroom. They very quietly go into my cupboard. But yeah, this award has a lot of credibility.
Yeah.
And I know the people are really genuine, and they've been coordinating my travel and my visit here for a long time. So I'm very delighted that I finally made it.
Yeah, we're very thrilled to have you here.
Thank you.
Now let's start from the very beginning. How did you think of making this movie? Because the character is a very controversial writer. So out of all those writers,
why Manto?
Why him?
Why Manto?
Yeah, why
well,
Manto?
Actually, why not Manto? Because he's a very special writer, even among the writers of the time. Sometimes they didn't know how to really deal with him, in the sense they didn't understand why he was writing about women, why was he writing about sex workers, why did he write reality just as it is, without any embellishment, any frills. So he was someone who really championed truth. And in times like the ones we are living in, where there is fake news and post-truth, and we almost don't know what really is reality and
That's
what's
true.
fiction. So he was someone who really championed truth. He was honest to the core, deeply compassionate, especially to those who were on the margins of society. He really cared for people whose voices were not heard at all. And he also he had to fight many cases that were put on him. He was tried 6 times for what we call obscene writing.
Oh, boy.
The same writing that we are celebrating today was considered obscene then.
Yeah.
So, and in today's times, freedom of expression is something that is being threatened all over the world.
That's
of
true.
course, in where I come from, my part of the world, but all over the world we are seeing how actors, how artists, how writers, directors, are being basically asked to keep quiet or not to deal with certain subjects. So in many ways, I think it resonated with me. He was somebody who was deeply human. All his writings are really about humanity. And in today's times, we are being divided in the name of gender, race, color of our skin,
Yes, that's true.
Sexual preference, caste, religion. So somebody who kind of reminds us that it's finally only humanity that counts.
So what's deeply touched you about this character or writer, that you started, going towards script making?
I think this compassion, this humanity, and even though he was tried for, he had cases on him, he had no money, people were not ready to publish his writings, but he was so deeply convinced about what he believed in.
He was fearless,
that
I
he was
guess.
fearless. He was free-spirited and fearless. So I think that kind of courage and conviction is very inspirational.
That's true.
And it sort of resonates with me, and I think I often say that I want to spread mantoyat. यानी जैसे कहते हैं हिंदी में mantoyat, but in English we call it sort of mantoness, which is that we all have that desire to be more honest, more truthful, more courageous, more free-spirited, but we are not. So if we want to be, but deep down we want to be. When somebody is more of all that, we always envy and say, "Hey, I wish I had that kind of courage, or I was that outspoken." So in many ways, I think Manto can be very inspirational for all of us.
Yeah, they say it takes courage to be fearless.
Absolutely, but I think people who are really courageous, they don't chase courage. They're just so deeply convinced about things they believe in that courage just automatically follows. And I've seen that often people ask me, how do you do films like this? You did Fire, you did Firak, Ab Manto. I always say that if you have strong convictions, you will always find courage to do them.
Very well said. Now, how is it working with Nawazuddin?
Nawaz is a brilliant actor, as we know. He just kind of melts into characters, and his eyes are very powerful. That was one of the main reasons why I thought he should be the Manto that I had imagined. Because Manto also, who died at 42, had lived and experienced many things and struggled with many things external, but also deeply inside, like his own angst. And Nawaz has also struggled a lot in his life. So even at a young age, his eyes have a kind of a lived life feeling. And he completely, though, submitted to my vision of Manto. When I first told him, he told me, I'll give you whatever time you want. He used to say, "Main 2 saal pure de dunga." And when we started shooting, by then he had become a big star, and he was doing this Munna Michael, another film, which was completely different from this. Yeah. Of course, he was very committed, and he's a natural sort of instinctive actor. But we together, my research and whatever work that I had done, and his own, creativity, we gelled very well. Yeah, we had a very good rapport, so it worked.
So did you have to help him, because it's a very unique character? Did you help him to transform?
Well, I mean, I had done all the research, so he was definitely relying on that, and I also had to work a lot on his language, because Manto's, sometimes he would want to change a few words, and I would say, "Nay, this is written in Manto's language. There is a reason. There's a certain rhythm to Manto's writing, and I didn't want to change that." But he understood that, and he sort of said, "Yeah, it's not like I'm an actor too, and sometimes we get a script and we do make changes because we want to make that dialogue your own. You don't want it to sound like a dialogue." But in a film like this, you're also dealing with great literature. You're dealing with lines that carry a certain meaning, but you don't want them to sound like dialogues. They should sound authentic and real. At the same time, they are precious in the way it has been said. So Nawaz had to work a lot on his dialogues as well. Yeah.
You're a brilliant actor yourself, So tell us this transition from like being an actor to a director. What it takes to do that?
Well, for me, direction, firstly, acting also just was something I did by default. It's not something that I really started out. I was never ambitious about it. It wasn't a dream. I never wanted to be an actor. I did my master's in social work, and I was working with a couple of NGOs. And then literally fire fell into my lap, and then I started getting more offers, and mostly mainstream offers, but I didn't want to do mainstream cinema because I somehow haven't grown up watching them. My parents didn't watch commercial films, and therefore I never ended up, really developing a taste for it. So I started acting, and then Firak I did in 2008. And that was also a story that I just felt sort of compelled to tell. It wasn't that, let me become a director and let me look for a script. It wasn't like that. I just felt like I wanted to tell that story. And the same thing happened with Manto as well, that I just felt very compelled to tell this story. And before I knew, I was actually making it. And I think now would be the first time that I'm going to sort of more consciously choose which project to do next.
So you mentioned your parents were like artists and writers. Do you think that has something to do like any inherited gene of creativity?
I don't know about genes, but I'm sure upbringing and the atmosphere you grow up in impacts how you think, and what it informs your aesthetics, your choices, your intent. So yes, I'm sure the artistic and the writing environment that I had probably impacted me, but not in a conscious sort of a way.
And any other projects you're coming up with?
Well, I'm at the moment in a very good place where I'm spoiled for choice. I'm getting a lot of projects, both as an actor and director. But my Manto journey still hasn't finished. As you can see, I'm here with Manto to CineQuest. So, but I'm slowly winding down, and I've begun reading a few scripts, and hopefully I'll decide in a couple of months as to what I want to do. I'm also a mother of an 8-year-old, so I need to give my son a little time, who has been kind of ignored a little bit through the journey of making the film.
So when you were making Mantos, did you know it's going to go this popular and it's going to get that worldwide attention? Or
Well, I mean, to be honest, it wasn't distributed that well. I mean, you know, it has gone to many festivals, and for me, festivals, I neither put them on pedestals nor do I look down upon it, because in India, you either think that's the only benchmark, or you say, oh, this is a festival film. You know, you kind of dismiss it as this is not going to be something that would go with masses. I think we come with a lot of preconceived notion of, you know, saying that this is a niche film, this is an independent, this is a commercial. There's never really a level playing field where you can actually reach out these films to the people, to public at large. And I do believe that because of maybe Netflix, now many people are watching it. Yeah. And every day, you know, I get some response to the film, you know, from some part of the world, from some part of India or anywhere. And it's really been overwhelming. The response has been amazing. And people are not just writing, I like it, or something like that. They're writing a lot, they're sharing a lot, you know, how it's moving them, how they're connecting with the film, and why they think they feel like it's also very contemporary, because we are grappling with the same issues as we were grappling before. Have you watched the film? Or are you going to watch it tonight?
Yes, a part of it I've watched, and you know, yes, I'm looking forward to it here. So I was working with the Cinequist now. This film festival. You're liking it so far?
Yes, I mean, I've been here, and you know, Michael Rabel is a great sort of festival director, very passionate about films. So yeah, I came with Firak. Firak, did I come with? I came with another film, and now with Manto. So I'm very much looking forward to this evening, and it's such a beautiful theater.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I've only seen the lobby yet, so no, I'm sure that inside the theater it gets better. I'm sure it'll just get better. So
anything else you would like to say to the audience?
No, just that it's on Netflix, so please watch the film, and if it's playing in your city anytime, look out for it, because I do want to spread Mantoyat, and no better than you, and I'm sure once you see it, you will also champion it and spread Mantoyat further.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Hi, I'm Nandita Das, and you're watching me on Sitare TV.